Welcome students to the second session of the chapter On the Face of It in Vistas. Now this chapter we had started and I had told you this is the story of two people who are physically impaired and a child Derry who is 14 years old who is running away from the world and enters another physically impaired person's house and his name is Mr. Lamb. Initially, Derry doesn't know that Mr. Lamb was also handicapped like him, and he did not like when Mr. Lamb did not inquire about his handicap. Actually, he is a boy who is full of self pity and he wants to earn the pity of the people. He likes that people show pity at him. And when Mr. Lamb doesn't ask, he feels somewhat hurt. Then, in the later part of the story, after one or two pages, we come to know Mr. Lamb is full of life, full of optimism, and then he says that, Derry, you and I are the same. He cannot understand. And then he says that, actually, I got my leg blown off in the war. I am also physically impaired, and you are also. He did not say you are also. I am physically impaired. He said, we both are the same. Then Derry quickly asked him what happened, and he told him what happened to him. Now let's come to this particular portion, page number 59, where we had ended with the portion that Derry found a positive in the handicap of Mr. Lamb, and that positive was that Mr. Lamb could cover his handicap by wearing trousers, and nobody could come to know that he had a tin leg. So let's begin from here. Mr. Lamb, some do, some don't. They get tired of it in the end. There's plenty of other things to stare at. Says there are other things to look at. Derry, like my face. He was full of self-pity, so he said, like my face, that's to look at. Derry, Mr. Lamb, like crab apples or the weeds or a spider climbing up a silken ladder or my tall sunflowers. What a beautiful expression. This is the difference of perspective. And he says that a spider climbing up a silken ladder. Somebody would say, spiders well. But he says, spider climbing up a silken ladder or my tall sunflowers. Derry, things. Derry said, these are just things. Mr. Lamb, it's all relative. Beauty and the Beast. Derry, what's that supposed to mean? Mr. Lamb, you tell me. Actually wanted to find out whether Derry knows about this story or not. You'll be astonished. Derry knows the story. He knows what was the end of the story, but he never understood the meaning of the story. And according to the story, what happened was Beauty kissed the beast, who was very ugly, and he kissed the beast. She kissed the beast, and the beast changed into a handsome prince. So, according to the fairy story, they lived happily ever after. Because after the kiss of Beauty, the beast changed into a handsome prince. So, Mr. Lamb asked, do you know what is the story? Derry says, you didn't think they haven't all told me that fairy story before? It's not what you look like, it's what you are inside. Handsome is as handsome does. Beauty loved the monstrous beast for himself, and when she kissed him, he changed into a handsome prince. Only he wouldn't. He would have stayed a monstrous beast. I won't change. Derry says that he changed, but I won't change because I told you he's full of self-pity. Mr. Lamb, in that way, no, you won't. Said, no, if you want that way, according to the fairy story, how beasts change, you also would change. That will not happen. Derry, and no one will ever kiss me, ever. Only my mother, and she kisses me on the other side of my face. And I don't like my mother to kiss me. She does it because she has to. Why should I like that? I don't care if nobody ever kisses me. Now he says this by saying that this will never happen. Nobody will ever fall into love with him. Mr. Lamb says, but do you care if you never kiss them? Derry, what? Girls, pretty girls, long hair and large eyes, people you love? Derry, who'd let me? Not one. Mr. Lamb, who can tell? Derry was so pessimistic, he said that this would never happen, that nobody would ever fall into love with me. Mr. Lamb said, how can you say in advance? Then Derry, I won't ever look different. When I am as old as you, I look the same. I'll still only have half of face. Mr. Lamb, so you will? Sir, no, how normally is saying, so you will, that means this will be there. You have to accept this. So you will. But the world won't. The world's got a whole face. This also has to be noted down. The world has got a whole face and the world's there to be looked at. He says, you don't want to look at the world, but you want that the world also should not look at you. This can't happen. Similarly, you don't want that the world should look at you. It's okay. When you don't want to advance the world, why would the world advance you? You want the appreciation of people. You want that you have worn a special dress. You want everybody to appreciate. But you never appreciate people. How would you get appreciation in return? So we say, no, what goes around comes around. They say is that the world has a full face. You have to look at the world. You don't want the world to look at you. That's another thing. Then, but the world won't. The world's got a whole face and the world's there to be looked at. Derry, do you think this is the world? This old garden? Mr. Lamb, when I am here, not the only one, but the world as much as anywhere. Derry said, you think this is the world, this whole garden where you live in? Mr. Lamb said, yes. Wherever I'll go, everything is the world. Everything is the world with me and I am interested in everything. Then, Mr. Lamb, when I am here, not the only one, but the world as much as anywhere. Derry, does your leg hurt you? Mr. Lamb, tin doesn't hurt, boy. Derry, when it came off, did it? Mr. Lamb, certainly. Derry, and now I mean where the tin stops at the top. Mr. Lamb, now and then in wet weather, it doesn't signify. Derry now understood. His handicap was once his face was burnt, now he doesn't have any pain there. But Mr. Lamb, his half leg was cut. Now wherever the tin touches the remaining portion, there also it pains. He now understood that I am thinking of my pain, but now I don't have pain there. Whatever pain I have in my heart, Mr. Lamb, his leg till now also pains. So he understood there are people who are worse. They are in worse condition than ourselves. We think our pain is the biggest. This happens. We always say grass is green on the other side. We think everybody else has got no problem in life. Same was the problem with Derry. And then see one important dialogue of Derry. Derry, oh, that's something else they all say. Look at all those people who are in pain and brave and never cry and never complain and don't feel sorry for themselves. He understood that day. He said, yes, when people told me there are people worse than you, I thought this cannot happen. But then he understood when he understood the pain of Mr. Lamb. Then, Mr. Lamb, I haven't said it. Derry, and think of all those people worse off than you. Think you might have been blinded or born deaf or have to live in a wheelchair or be daft in your head and dribble. You could have been mentally retarded. You could have born with no legs. You could have born with being deaf. He said at least that did not happen. So he was thinking, yes, there is something good with me also. Mr. Lamb, and that's all true and you know it. Derry, it won't make my face change. He again came to self-pity and he said, do you know one day a woman went by me in the street. I was at a bus stop and she was with another woman and she looked at me and she said, whispered, only I heard her. If she had whispered, did Derry hear her? No, he was just assuming that she said this. And then see, and only I heard her. She said, look at that. That's a terrible thing. That's a face only a mother could love. This happens, students. I'll tell you. There are two people and they're looking at you. And you assume that they are talking about you. And from their gestures, you find out, okay, they must be talking this. Why? Because that thought is there in your heart about yourselves. And you don't want to listen to it. But you know it that they must be speaking that. That means there is no worse critic about ourselves than we. We know what is the wrong with us. The only thing is we don't want to accept it. Now here Mr. Lamb was teaching Derry to accept the things first. Then, Mr. Lamb, so you believe everything you hear then? Derry, it was cruel. Mr. Lamb, maybe not meant as such, just something said between them. Derry, only I heard it. I heard. He said, see, this is what. He wanted to earn the self-pity, the pity of Mr. Lamb also, okay? Mr. Lamb, and that is the only thing you ever heard anyone say in your life? Derry, oh no, I heard a lot of things. Mr. Lamb, so now you keep your ears shut? If two people are talking about you in a room, either stand there and be ready to listen to your criticism. If you are ready to accept, listen. Otherwise, don't stand there. This is the truth of your life. Because at your back, it will be very rare that somebody would be appreciating you. They would be criticizing. So either have the strength of listening and accepting the truth, or go away from there. So he was telling this to Derry. Let people say whatever they want to. If you listen to everybody, you'll never be happy. So now, only I heard it, I heard. And is that the only thing you have ever heard anyone say in your life? Derry, oh no, I've heard a lot of things. Mr. Lamb, so now you keep your ears shut? Derry, you're peculiar. You say peculiar things. You ask questions I don't understand. Mr. Lamb, I like to talk, have company. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to stop here at all. The gate's open. He was so frank with Derry. He said, If you don't want to stop here, go. Derry, yes, but this hesitation shows he wants to stay. Then, Mr. Lamb, I have a hive of bees behind those trees over there. Some hear bees and they say bees buzz. But when you listen to bees for a long while, they hum. And hum means sing. I hear them singing, my bees. Who would say? For some people, music is voice. For some people, music is noise. That's the difference of your perspective. They said, this is what I see. I see that bees, I hear bees humming. They don't, like, if some people say, in this case, bees buzz. But I think bees hum. Then, Derry, but I like it here. I came in because I liked it when I looked over the wall. Mr. Lamb, if you had seen me, you'd not have come in. Derry, no. Mr. Lamb, no. Derry, I didn't mean trespassing. Mr. Lamb, that's not why. Derry, I don't like being near people. When they stare, when I see them being afraid of me. And now you learn something very good, and it's a very good example. Just see it. After this, I'll end. Mr. Lamb, you could lock yourself up in a room and never leave it. There was a man who did that. He was afraid, you see, of everything. Everything in this world. A bus might run over him, or a man might breathe deadly germs onto him, or a donkey might kick him to death, or lightning might strike him down, or he might love a girl and the girl would leave him. That means he expected all negative things to happen in his life. And he might slip on a banana skin and fall, and people who saw him would laugh their heads off. So he went into this room and locked the door and got into his bed and stayed there. Derry, forever? Mr. Lamb, for a while. Derry, then what? Mr. Lamb, a pitcher fell off the wall on his head and killed him. Now, if this is going to, we expect all negatives to happen in our lives, they would happen. Then why spoil the positivity of our life? So he was explaining him this. Either you be ready to listen to what the world says. Let them say. If you don't have the heart of listening and accepting, better is keep your ears shut. So he was saying this to Derry. Mr. Lamb, you see, Derry, but you still say peculiar things. Derry, you still say peculiar things? Mr. Lamb, peculiar to some. Derry, what do you do all day? Mr. Lamb, sit in the sun, read books. You thought it was an empty house, but inside it's full. Books and other things full. Derry, but there aren't any curtains at the window. Mr. Lamb, I am not fond of curtains, shutting things out, shutting things in. I like the light and the darkness and the windows open to hear the wind. This is how we come to know that Mr. Lamb was ready to approach the world. But the problem later on you'll come to know is the world did not approach Mr. Lamb. Even then, he was full of optimism. So here I am ending the second session. The second session we came to know how Derry came to know Mr. Lamb was also handicapped, how we came to know about the story of Beauty and the Beast, how we came to know that how Mr. Lamb told Derry, if you can't accept what the world says, better is to keep your ears shut. And then he told him that story. So here the second session gets over. We'll meet in the third session.